let's have a look at our Wealthsimple portfolio. There were some very major changes in the market as of October 10th, and I think you guys should see exactly how that affected my portfolio, as well as how it's likely affected yours. So let's dive right in. Here we are on Wealthsimple. For those of you who don't know, Wealthsimple is actually the brokerage I use. It's a Canadian-owned brokerage. They operate just out of downtown Toronto, and they hold a lot of assets listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, which is where I primarily do most of my buying. But they are a zero fee trading brokerage. So they don't offer any fees when you buy or sell. They are an insured company and they're great to work with. They have lots of other benefits. You can get a credit card with them, open just a regular bank account with them, like a checking and a saving account. So there's tons of different benefits when you use Wealthsimple. So I highly encourage you to go and check them out using the link in the description. Okay, here we are in my account. As you can see, it's a new week. We have a new value. We had lots that happened this week, so I'm going to show you that in just a minute. As you can see, the first thing that kind of sticks out at you is the dollar value here. In the last video, it was about $540, $547, I believe, actually, with a total investment of about $540. We currently sit at about $847. So I recently, just this past Thursday on October 9th, I put an additional $315 in from my paycheck. Like I said, I do every other week. So we're going to continue to do that. And then, of course, on Friday, we had some American politics happen where the markets abroad, just right across the board, took a pretty severe hit, mainly in the crypto space, but every asset basically across the board took a huge dip on Friday, and we're going to talk about that a little bit here as well. So first, we're going to look at this graph here so you can see the steady incline where my account balance was zero. I made the first deposit of about $95. I made my second deposit on September 11th that totaled to $225 deposited. Then I made a third deposit on the 25th of about $320, so it brought us up to $540. And then this past October 9th, it was a Thursday, I put $315 more in with a total deposit of $855. And as you can see, we're currently down $7.05. Just my luck, I put all my money in on a Thursday and the markets plummet on a Friday, but that's just part of the game. That's what happens when you invest. So what's changed in my portfolio this week? Well, what's changed is I kind of switched up my strategy just a little bit. Instead of sticking most of my money into VDY, I've actually decided to branch out and buy an ETF, which is VDY. I'm going to buy more of Enbridge and more of CNQ. Now, the reason I did this was because I saw the potential from the dividends coming from CNQ, which paid a very nice dividend, especially for its price point. I also, upon further research, I looked at it, and it's actually down quite a bit from its recent years. So we had an all-time high back here of $54, and it's currently down at like 46, 47, somewhere in there, $43, sorry. So there's some room for growth there. Now, whether it goes up or down more, only time will tell. I like the possibility of getting that growth as well as the dividends. That was just very appealing to me. So that's why I decided to continue to buy CNQ, listed on the Canadian or the Toronto Stock Exchange. So one more thing is with Wealthsimple, that actually allows you to buy fractional shares. So for example, I don't need to spend the exact amount to get 2 shares because the price is always changing of any asset. If I just want to put $100 into CNQ, then I put $100 into CNQ, which, as you can see down here, is actually how I have it set up. In fact, you can see exactly what happened down here. I had $70 going to VDY, $145 going to Enbridge, and then the $100 going to CNQ. So that's my $315 allotment spread across 3 assets. Now, if you hold VDY, you might know that it actually has Enbridge and CNQ, Canadian National Resources, under the umbrella of the ETF. But it's more so directed towards banks. It does have the energy sector as well, but I don't think our energy sector is going anywhere. It's such a huge part of Canadian heritage in the economy. I don't see that part really taking a huge hit. So I'm okay with spreading and diversifying that way. Now coming back to earlier in the week, you can see I received a dividend from CNQ for the 2 shares I did have of about $1.18, which was great. It was about 59 cents per share that I owned at the time, which is awesome. And then I also received later on in the week on Wednesday, I received a dividend from VDY. I had about 5 shares that were about 14 cents each that totaled about 78 cents. So if you can do the math real quick, you're getting about 14 cents per month with VDY. So roughly about 45 cents, I guess you could say quarterly. Of course, that dividend payment changes every month, versus 59 cents quarterly with CNQ. So that was what kind of got me thinking to diversify myself a little bit more and just experiment. And then I will probably at some point very soon go back to heavily investing more into VDY, and just staying true to those Canadian owned companies. So that's it for the Wealthsimple account. We're growing slowly but surely. It's nice to see some of these dividend payments come in. The next dividend payment I'm obviously expecting to receive is going to be Enbridge, and then VDY, it pays a monthly dividend. So between those two in the next video, hopefully I have 1 or 2 more dividends coming into my portfolio by then. And any dividends I do receive are just automatically reinvested into the account. I don't pull them out or anything. There's not enough to really pull out anyway, but I'm just strictly going to be leaving these dividends on auto reinvest. So they're just going to keep on continuing to buy shares as they pay myself. I'll just reinvest that right back into the companies. Now, for those of you who actually caught the move, you can see that all last week it was pretty stagnant, at least in my account, obviously being a smaller account. And then I deposited here on October 9th, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you look closely, you can see it slightly teeters off down in the negative. And that is because there was some American politics that came into play, something to do with America and China, and a meeting being held off by the man in power, if you know who I'm talking about. And so that's what kind of led with a lot of uncertainty in the markets coming into Friday morning, and things just tanked. Like you got stocks down 5%, and this is in the Canadian economy too. So imagine the American economy, how much of a hit that took. But the stock market really took a plummet, as well as the crypto market took a plummet. And I am invested in some crypto assets, and they dropped close to 50%, which I've been through this before. It's not uncommon in the crypto space. Of course, I wish I had sold some assets knowing that this would have happened so I could buy more at a lower price. In fact, I'm almost debating on putting a little bit of savings I have into some more crypto assets, but I'm going to hold off on that for now and see how things start to recover. But it's been a very strange week in the market for sure, thanks to, the news that we received on Friday. So that's it for this week's video. I hope I see you guys in the next one. Again, I'm going to continue to invest $315 every time I get paid. So every time you come back, my account is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I hope you come back and follow me along for the journey. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out so much. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.